Welcome to Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I'm Pannon.
I'm the fire. I forgot what I was doing.
And I'm David.
I just thought you were doing one of David's infamous pauses.
Yeah.
I literally my brain turned off.
Just Control-Alt-Delete.
Oh my gosh, yes,
blue screen.
I just thought you were stealing my bit like Pannon. Like, yeah, okay, all right. You know, this is a choice. This is my choice, but you're taking it from me. Okay.
While you're waiting for your podcasters to load, you can send us an email at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com or
fill out the forms on our new shiny website, cosplaystitchandseam.com, or
join us on our Facebook page and tell us what you're waiting for, because it's probably glue that's drying. That's what I always am waiting for, is glue
paint.
to dry.
I'm waiting for paint right now, and it's driving me freaking nuts. I'm not patient.
While you're impatiently waiting, go ahead and tell us what you're working on. Join our Work in Progress Wednesdays. Or you can also join our Discord, where we've got a fantastic community. We even have a little food chat, and I got to share the food that I made last night. I made spaghetti aglio e olio, which is just garlic and oil, and it was so good. It was so freaking good. And while you're on the internet sharing food or impatiently waiting, if you want to support the show, there are many different ways that you can do it. You can do that by leaving us a review and a rating on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on Audible, wherever they let you. We'll even give you a shout out on the show. You can always just tell the podcast to a friend. That's the easiest way. And of course, if you've got a few bucks, we do have a Ko-fi, K-O-F-I, Cosplay Stitch, or a Patreon, patreon.com/Cosplay Stitch. For $3 a month, you get to join us. For $3 a month, for $3 a month, for $3 a month,
you get a shout out.
You get a shout out. For $3 a month, you get a shout out. And for $5 a month, you get to join our Cosplay Chronicles!
Chronicles!
It's been a great game. I'm so excited to see what happens next time. It's so good.
yes! And while you're online, make sure you check out Fox Beauty Cosmetics, which is now at their new website, foxbeauty.store. That's Fox still with 2 X's, beauty.store. You can use their promo code Stitch and Seam to get 10% off your purchase of all vegan, not tested on animal product. What else we got? I think that's it.
Yeah. I think that's everybody. I think
Boy.
We made it! Yay!
So how you guys doing in now that it's summer and the heat is here? And
I love summer. I missed the first day at the beach because of the work. Stinky work.
I was on Twitch the other day, and I was just chatting in someone's stream, and they were talking about how, like, in Sweden, it's, like, really, really hot over there. And I was like, well, how hot is it? And they're like, it's, like, 20 degrees. And I was like, okay, what's that in Celsius? Turns out that's, like, barely 80, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe 82, 83. And I was like, that's nothing. I'm not comfortable until it's 30. And they're like, oh, dear Lord. Oh, man. David, no. Stop. Take care of yourself. So I'm loving the heat. I love being warm. I prefer to be warm than cold.
Oh, y'all are nuts.
I love the summer. I go to the beach.
Opposite. No, I cannot stand. Well, I cannot. I can stand the summer, but I would rather not. And here's my reasoning. Because in the winter, you can add more layers and potentially get warmer. But in the summer, you can only take off so many things before you can't go out in public.
Yeah, but you could go to, like, lakes. And, like, I have a pirate ship.
Why?
No.
Why would I want to go outside?
Yeah, there you go.
Because I have a pirate ship.
I don't want to go outside, period. No matter the time of the year.
When I'm inside and there's air conditioning.
But I have a little, like, raft, and it has a legit pirate sail on it. Like, I'm not joking. I have one. It's freaking amazing.
Put fish pee in the water.
Oh my gosh, so do the kids. So don't just...
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that meme of, like, there is a, because, like, you go swimming in the ocean, and there's a lot of dead bodies in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
But if you go into a swimming pool and you see a dead body, you're not going to jump in the swimming pool. So that means there is a amount of water to dead body ratio that we as humans are comfortable with.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Oh,
I can't
boy.
do deep water though. I can't do deep water. If I can't see the bottom, my feet ain't going in it.
Mm.
This is completely the topic, but speaking of the deep ocean water, did you know there's parts of the ocean that they didn't even know were as deep as they were because they're just like a wall of really dense fish? Like it's so densely like schools of fish that they thought it was the floor of the ocetion, but it's not.
Oh my gosh,
I
no!
love this. This is so
And
cool.
they said
No,
it
I'm
makes up,
trying
like,
so hard not to cuss right now. No!
no, no, but they said that those fish make up like in that specific part of the ocean make up like probably like 80% of all the fish that exist.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I mean, I did
That's
not
a lot of
verify
fish.
these. I heard it on TikTok. And there was a news article cited, but I did not go read it. But
That is
if it's true, it's bananas.
that's so
True or
cool.
not, that's now like in my nightmare bank. Thanks.
Right, right.
Just wall
Anyway.
of fish. I wouldn't. Oh, we should probably get on topic. Never mind.
Yeah, we probably should.
We are talking today about the hottest cosplayers of all time, who
Oh
are
yes.
who are us and you guys at home in the summer.
Just
and
being
how to
summer.
yes, and how to not be hot in the summertime, whether you are crafting or out cosplaying, whatever point of
Chill down that
cosplaying you are at.
hot cosplay.
Yeah, hot cosplay.
Chill it down.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about today. Not fish and not all the other stuff.
Boy, we were very off base, but still, if you guys will see a cool pirate ship, come with me.
Oh boy. So for you guys, what's the hottest cosplay you've worn?
It would have definitely have been Hollow Knight. My Cleoth cosplay is a close second because it was like nothing but furs and Warbler. But the fact that I had this giant helmet, all these layers of foam, I was in this like thermal wear to keep like all of the stuff on my body. I think I lost a pound of just sweat after the con. Like that was a nightmare. It was so much fun. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah. I think for me, it was when I did Barnaby Brooks Jr. from Tiger and Bunny. Is like his little like mech suit that he fights crime in.
Yeah.
But it was made with like, so he has like an under mech suit that's like a bodysuit, and then he has like an over one that's kind of like pleather, and then he has the armor that goes on top of that. And like I made the mistake of making all the layers instead of just showing like the collar of one of them. Because I was like, that'll be cool. And it wasn't. The spandex against my skin wasn't too bad, but like when I got the pleather overlayer, it just turned me into a sweat burrito.
Ooh.
And then the armor on top of that just like pressed it against my skin, and I was dying by the end of the day. It was so hot. Luckily it was all washable, but
Oh, good. What about you, Mercedes? What was your hottest cosplay?
Sergeant Calhoun.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was sweating so bad in that. Like, I know that, like, yeah, you can technically sweat from every pore on your body, but I never realized it. You know, like freaking like when I had Lexus go to take the braces off to change the batteries for stage, and she like opens it and it's just wet, and she's all like, "Oh my goodness!" And I just looked at her. I was like, "I'm sorry."
Have you ever seen like a brass player like empty their instrument when they're taking a break, and they have the spit valve where it just kind of like pours out?
Yep.
So when I was in Japan cosplaying in the middle of summer, I had a bracer on, and it was for Titus from Final Fantasy X. And I started to pull it off, and just like a spit valve from a trumpet, it just was pouring sweat onto the ground. It was so gross.
Oh no! Oh,
I hate this. I hate it so much.
So now that we've thoroughly grossed y'all out from our experience, we would like to help you not do those things.
Woof.
So let's maybe talk about crafting first and then move into wearing the things?
Yeah, how do I stay cool while I'm wearing this unbreathable foam because I've sealed it to death?
Oh my
So let me
what
tell
do I
you
need
what.
to do?
Let me tell you what Sadie and I did for Calhoun, and this was
Okay.
a freaking godsend. We froze rice packs.
Yeah, good idea.
She made like 1 million of these little tiny things and just found every little crevice in my costume to shove them in.
That's awesome.
And that helped a ton. And then, like, if you carry like a cooler around, you can trade them out.
Mm.
So like, have your assistant carry one around, aka Sadie. Yeah, no, it was great. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Ice packs or like just like the little rice bags, because then it doesn't like collect condensation so much, and keeps you cool.
That's
it can also
good.
keep you warm too.
That is also true.
But
I don't think I've ever
I'm going to a con that has poor ventilation. We'll say.
The con has poor ventilation, or do you have poor ventilation?
We'll say the con has poor ventilation. Not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not calling anything out. I'm just saying, like, you go to a convention, and they did not plan for a warm space. Like,
recently.
I saw some really cool ideas from people who showed up to various hot conventions. One of them, like, I thought they were headphones until I got up close because they just sit around your neck, and it's a little fan that just blows right at your face.
Oh.
And it sits on your neck, and it has these two little, like, circular fans at the end of it. So it just, like, looks like you're wearing headphones. And I was like, that's cool because you also look cool wearing it.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
I saw so many like handheld fans, portable fans, battery powered fans, spray misting bottles.
Yeah, I was gonna say those with the fan attached.
Uh-huh.
The misting bottle with a fan. Oh my goodness, I love those.
That's nice.
Just gotta be aware of what your cosplay can handle moisture wise.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, as someone who's done a lot of summery things, I usually don't think about that because I'm just like, I'm in a tank top. Who cares?
Yeah,
when you're in a cosplay, you're like, this cosplay tank top does care.
So winding it back to like your planning stage, that's a good point. Is do you have a cosplay that can be a tank top? Did you plan like their winter uniform with 18 layers? Looking at things in the planning stage can save you a lot of pain later. I have worn some really dumb stuff in the summertime, but usually I reserve only like one dumb costume for the weekend and the other ones are cool. If I'm like competing. If I'm not competing at the convention, I'm just going to wear stuff that is comfy and cool.
Gotcha.
And almost every character in like video games, in like anime, in like superhero stuff, they have like a summer uniform or a swimsuit version or, casual wear for the characters. So you can still be like recognizable and wear the character casually, which can be fun. So
yeah, I did that with
planning.
Aloy. I did a casual Aloy with a tank top, and
Ooh.
He was inspired by Kamui's casual Aloy, but it was like
nice.
It was a toasty convention that I was going to. I think it was PopCon. Way back when that was going. Yeah. That was really nice. Like, it just like was nice and cool. It was still recognizable character, and like it was fun to wear. Oh, I also heard a ToshoCon too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. If you still want to wear the like crazy winter whatever 18 layer thing, in your planning phase, consider modifying like what fabrics it's made out of. So it's made out of stuff that breathes really easily, or cheat on what layers you're wearing. Like maybe just do like 3 fake collars and then 1 actual clothing layer, so you aren't wearing 4 layers of clothing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That can save you a lot of pain during conventions. And especially if you're not like competing with it, there's no reason to make yourself suffer that much if you're going to be out in the heat, So
to ask like again the noobish question, when you would when you're competing, you may not necessarily want to take those shortcuts.
I mean, it really depends. Sometimes it can be like a matter of not including the full layer for like practicality, for weight restrictions, for so that it sits in a certain way when you're wearing it. One of the things with having, like, I wore a Juni Hitoe for a competition, which is a 13 layered kimono. And I did actually make all 13 layers. And
Oh my gosh.
incredibly hot. But you can also like fake that somewhat with a collar, but it also like adds a bulkiness to have that many layers. And it depends on if you're planning to have that in your costume or not, how mobile you have to be in your performance. There are all kinds of reasons to cut down on the layers that I don't think would hurt you in judging, as long as you have practical reasons for it, I think.
Okay.
So that's just my personal opinion.
No, that totally makes sense.
Another thing to help with the heat is, even if you are including the layers, to make them a little bit easier to remove. Even if it's not the exact way the garment should go together, if you have quick ways in and out of it, if it's going to overheat you, that's really smart way to do it. Yeah. Other suggestions I have would be, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but wearing like some kind of cotton or sweat wicking underclothing. It keeps the sweat off your actual costume and actually does help you cool off a little faster. I know for like almost all of my costumes, I'll wear some kind of like tank top or undershirt or something, just because I don't like sweating into my costumes.
Yeah.
So I kind of do that as a preventative thing no matter what, but especially for costumes that are hard to wash. But yeah, and my other one I had to suggest was like, just from like the fursuits and stuff that I made when I was doing mascots, you can put in different like cooling systems, like electronic fans into your helmets. We built a lot of cooling vests, which we just made with headliner, which you can get at a lot of automotive places, or even at the fabric stores will carry it. It's just kind of a thicker fabric, so you're not having an ice pack right against your body. You have a little bit of insulation between you and it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it also, like, it insulates you from having ice directly on your body, but it also, like, insulates the ice pack from melting super quickly. So it works both ways, and it makes the ice packs last a little longer.
Okay.
But it's just kind of like a vest that you wear that has pockets all the way around your torso, because that's where, I don't know, your core is where your temperature sits, and can help cool you the fastest or rather keep you from overheating the best if you're.
I did see another Hollow Knight cosplayer who was doing Hornet, and she actually put fans in the helmet. Like, they're just little computer PC fans that you buy for like $5-10 bucks. And then attach some batteries. That's a lot of like more like wiring and electricity savvy than I have. But I thought that was a really, really cool idea to have like just extra little pieces to help keep you a little bit cooler.
I see that in like fursuits and Mandalorian helmets even, and stuff like that. That is such a good thing, because it helps keep it cool, and also like you're not sitting there breathing your own breath.
Well, I will, on that point, I will say, like, if you are going to put a fan in your helmet, make sure the air has somewhere to go, or it is just going to be recycling your own sweaty air around you. Which, I mean, it's nice to have the air moving, but if the air is like either pulling fresh air from outside or pushing the icky air out, even having like just little tiny vents, things like that you can put into the helmet to help circulate is really helpful.
Very helpful. Okay. Yes, I extra agree with that. My brain broke. Yes, I extra agree with that. Yes.
So we've got some basics. Like, I think it's good to note, like, here are some materials that you may want to avoid entirely while
Oh yeah.
being outside. If you have anything that is hot glue based, it's very strong, very useful tool, that's gonna warm up, and that might lose a lot of your adhesion ability from one item to another, and it might get stuck to something else that you don't want stuck to.
Yes.
Yeah, like even in temperatures like with your friend Twitch, where it's only around the 80s, if you're still in direct sunlight and you have things that are made out of hot glue, they can melt. And in places in the US where the summers get into the like hundreds or like around 40 Celsius, it can melt in only like a few minutes in the sun.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah. And not just hot glue. We have so many things that are made from thermoplastics these days.
Yes.
That if it doesn't have like a good foundation under it, it can just straight up melt if it's outside for too long.
So I actually want to jump into that a little bit with like when you're doing the construction and planning of your cosplay.
Yeah.
When you're building it and you're outside because you're working with things that don't belong inside, like Bondo. I was using that the other day. Definitely not an inside thing. And anything, you want to make sure you've got those well-ventilated areas. And I think this is why I got stuck earlier. I have a swamp cooler in my garage, and it works great. You have to have a place for the air to go, though. Otherwise, it's not going to do its job. And so I always have like the back door to the garage open. And that lets the air flow around. It actually like takes a lot of the dust from when I'm sanding and blows it out the back door. I love it. But that's like one of the most important things. So it'll help keep you cool that way if you're using something like a swamp cooler. And also like if you're working with like paints and things that have toxic fumes, you now have an airflow system that's going to move it away from you. Yeah. When you're working on stuff and you're feeling hot, take a break. Don't push yourself through the heat. You don't want to get heat stroke. It sucks. I haven't had it, but I hear it sucks. As much as I love the heat, I know how to get out of it. Give yourself breaks. Let yourself go in and cool down. Drink lots of water. That's at the convention too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah. I think those are my biggest things, is just like make sure you got water. Like I fill up a cup of water with or without ice, depending on how I'm feeling. Usually no ice. I don't like ice. But I'll keep it near the garage door where I'm working, because the garage, it gets so hot. But I keep a cup of water there, and I come out and I will drink at least half the cup. And whenever it's empty, I'll go and refill it again. And then just every time I find myself pausing to think about something, I go inside and get a drink, just to stay hydrated.
That's a good habit.
Yeah. That, or I have Sadie call and bother me and be like, get a drink of water.
Yeah. No, I actually...
Go ahead.
I actually appreciate that you mentioned like heat exhaustion and heat stroke, because I think it is really important to not just like be able to recognize those symptoms when you're having them, but if you start to notice your friends having them. I've actually had it just going to like Disneyland or being outside too long on a summer day. I am really prone to it for some reason. And it is not super fun. But if you catch it early, and usually you can tell when someone's not feeling well due to heat. But if you can catch it early, you can prevent it from becoming heat stroke, which is very dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah. I do have those but I do have a list of those, but you can also just like Google them and look it up online. Because some of these I just get walking around at con when it's not any kind of hot at all, just from being tired. Stuff like headaches, dizziness, feeling sick, sweating a lot, cramping up, fast pulse. If you start to get feverish, that's definitely when you want to be worried. But the you can tell it's getting serious when you stop sweating, because
Mhm.
that's when it starts moving into heat stroke.
Yep.
So yeah, look up those symptoms. Make sure you know what they look like in your friends and people around you. Which is why when you're at the event, I think it's really wise to have a buddy system. Make sure that you are with someone. You can keep an eye on each other. You can make sure that you guys take breaks, cool off. You can kind of keep an eye on your well-being, how overheated they look, things like that.
Stand in the shade when you can.
Oh gosh, yeah. Good.
Yeah, especially at those super hot conventions.
It is super important to note that, like, if you are noticing someone is having these signs, to not instantly get them the coldest place that they can be. You can put their system into shock
Yeah.
by just giving them even ice water. Give them, cold water, but not necessarily like, ooh, it's immediately having condensation on the outside of the glass, right? You can do more harm than good. It's kind of like when you treat a burn. You don't put a burn on ice because the body doesn't know how to react, and it's now trying to fight two different things at the same time.
And especially if you're doing this at a convention, there's usually convention staff who are medical personnel. Get them. They're usually like through security or something like that. You can find someone that can help. Especially if you're like, I'm not sure what to do, you can get help.
Definitely. One of the things I put on here is that conventions, like, research how to bring your temperature down. David mentioned some really good ones. It can help to have like little misting and cooling fans like we talked about. In Japan, they actually have these like aerosol, like cooling mists that you spray that actually is just like, it's kind of like those canned air that you spray into your computer, but it's actually cool. It's kind of fun.
That's neat.
Yeah. The cold packs. You can even like just putting like room temp or slightly cold water over your wrists or other pulse points can really help because it circulates the cooled down blood. So on like your wrists, on the back of your neck, under your chin, stuff like that is really helpful.
Nice.
Yeah. And usually won't disrupt your costume too much.
Who's that? From My Hero Academia, he's got like a radio theme going on.
Oh boy.
He looks like a bad radio DJ. It's gonna bug me.
What is it? Something Mike with the big hair?
He's got like the speakers in his collar, and like that'd be a perfect way to hide that like cooling system that you were talking about.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So,
is it Present Mike? I can't
Present
remember.
Mike. Yeah, Present Mike.
Yeah. Okay. That is a very smart idea. Get those like big anime collars and put fans inside.
Exactly.
I love it.
Beat the system.
Gives you some like dramatic wind also.
Yes. I was just about to say that. You stole it.
Like Mercedes mentioned earlier, staying hydrated is super important.
Hydrate before you dehydrate.
Yeah, don't dehydrate. Knowing where water stations are is really important. I super appreciate conventions that like have water stations throughout the hallways and in panel rooms and just easily accessible water. It makes it so much nicer, but like even if you're dragging around a water bottle all day and filling it with you, like, is important to have.
Yeah.
I always bring like some kind of bag with me so I can carry the essentials. I have the mom purse that I have carrying around at cons, and I match it to my costume. So,
I love that.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we got?
See, it's like what sweat-proof makeup's out there.
Oh yeah. There are definitely like, I won't say there's any like sweat proof that is actually sweat proof, at least not that I've tried.
Yeah.
But they are usually
better.
like, yeah, well, the thing is like they're usually sweat proof in that your sweat doesn't ruin the makeup, if that makes sense. So you bring like some blotting cloths or tissues to like pat your face down, and your makeup doesn't smudge. So you can still sweat through it, but it doesn't ruin your makeup. There are some really good ones out there that do that. Or you can also apply like some barrier sprays, makeup fixatives, things like that, so you don't completely sweat stuff off. But I would say you're gonna sweat no matter what. You're gonna sweat through it.
Yeah.
But try to find ways to sweat through it in ways that won't ruin what you've done with your lovely makeup.
And at any convention, whether it is toasty or not, wear deodorant.
Oh, please do. Wear deodorant, shower extra if there are. If it's really hot.
If you're like, I wonder if I smell, go reapply. If it's like an hour later, you're like, oh man, I'm feeling kind of smelly, go reapply.
And the spray stuff isn't always just enough. Like find the kind that works well for you. Find a friend that you trust, and if you've got a handler, they probably know when you smell.
Hey Sadie, sniff my pits. It should be like, what?
No.
I'm just kidding.
No.
She would probably not do that. She'd be like, no, Mercedes.
No. I found these like really cute portable deodorants, and they just look like oversized like lip balm balls. Have you seen the little ball of lip balm that you untwist? They're slightly bigger than that, but it's deodorant inside. And I actually keep one in my purse at all times just in case I forget on the way to work. But having stuff like that is super helpful. Yes.
Smart.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you'll just walk into a room at a convention and the smell hits you before the heat. You're like, oh boy.
Smell travels faster than heat.
But speaking of, it can be super helpful to stay indoors when it's hot outside. Your indoors are almost always going to be like air conditioned, have a lot more like airflow than standing outside. And yeah, exactly. So I know that's not the best advice with all the COVID stuff, but you can still like space out when you're inside. But like if you're trying to beat the heat, not standing out in direct sunlight is definitely the best way.
Yeah.
So I do what I want.
No.
You're more than welcome to do what you want, and there are consequences to doing whatever you want.
Yeah, I will burn. I'll burn. And the beacons are lit on the beach.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. My legs won't burn though. I don't know why. They just stay white.
One of the things that they do, like just for every day in the summer in places like Japan, is they have like umbrellas and parasols that specifically block UV.
They go really cute with a cute cosplay. I'll tell you that.
I know. I love, like, I will usually bring one whether or not it matches my cosplay, just because I hate being out in the sun. I'm like a vampire. But it's good to have around, like, even if I'm going to like an outdoor festival or something, I bring one because I'm like, I will burn. Otherwise, I am like super pasty. I will. I have 2 modes, and they are like ghostly or lobster, and there is no in between. So, you know, wear or make sure you're wearing plenty of sunscreen.
Oh yes, keep that skin cancer away.
Yeah. Hats, umbrellas, parasols, and parasols and things like that can even help if you're doing photo shoots outside in the heat, because that direct sunlight can be really harsh on faces. So it works for more different things.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow, you guys got any other advice? Have I missed things?
My main judgment, like, that I go to is, does this take me outside? And if the answer is in any way, shape, or yes, I try to avoid it as much as possible. So I don't know if I'm the best person for this question, but I'll do my best.
So, one of the things that always burns on me is, so to speak, like the sun getting to you, lips and the part in my hair. You can technically put sunscreen on your lips. It tastes terrible. But there are like lip balms and things out there that have sunscreen in them, and they will be a lifesaver to keep your lips from getting not the color red that you don't want them to be.
Yeah.
And then as for like parts and hair, if you're wearing a wig, that might cause you to overheat. So you want to make sure that you have wig breaks if you need to, if you're out in the sun a lot.
Oh, yeah. Wigs trap so much heat in your head.
So much heat. And then if you are using your natural hair and you don't have a hat on or anything, and your hair parts one way or another, take a light spray at the very least of like the spray sunscreen, or even just kind of, yes, it makes your hair oily. I'm sorry, but it's better than getting that one line down your head completely sunburned and then your head itches for like weeks.
And then it hurts to comb it. And
Yeah.
Yep.
But
It's
only in that one spot.
It's worth it making it just a little oily to keep that sun off. Or wear a hat.
Yeah.
Yep. Watch the tips of your ears, back of your neck. I'm like trying to think of all the places I've gotten sunburned. When you have sandals, make sure you put sunscreen on your feet. That was a terrible feet day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if you're out boating for some reason while doing this, and it's a canoe with reflective sides,
I was about to say.
the undersides of your legs will get burned too.
All the time.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm always canoeing in cosplay.
Dude,
I was about to say, like, you're doing a photo shoot at like a riverbed or by a lake.
Water
be wary
reflects the sun.
Of reflective or snow. Like, even if you're at snow, make sure you're wearing, enough sun protection there as well, because you need sunscreen even when it's cold outside.
That is true. Very true.
Yeah.
Cool. Yay.
Good stuff.
I will do my best to listen to my own advice. We'll see.
It's a nice dream, isn't it? Listening to our own advice sometimes.
I know. It makes me think of things I should do. Well, that was fun. Do we have any horror stories?
Yes, we do. We've got Beck the Noir. It's a little late. We've got our papers confused for a second. So sorry, Beck. We do not necessarily mean to skip over you. But Beck writes, this past Saturday, I went to a convention that was a few hours away from me with an armored cosplay I crunched together in 2 weeks. The night before the convention, they changed the schedule and made the time for the stage walk portion of the contest to the same time as my photo shoot. So I messaged my wonderful photographer and explained why I can't shoot with him anymore. He, being amazing, asked if we could do an earlier shoot instead, which I agreed to, since that was his last slot open, and I love shooting with him. But that also meant I have to leave my house about 2 hours earlier than I had planned, and it was already around 11 p.m. I was up crunching till 1 a.m., woke up on time. Wow. Orlando traffic gods were looking down on me that day, and I made it right on time and had to put all my armor on at the car. Done that before. That's always like a fun, awkward kind of interaction as you watch people walk by. And I ended up being about a minute or two late until registration, lost my ticket to the event. About 15 minutes later, I made it to the con and found my photographer. We took our pictures. He, again, was amazing. If anyone is ever shooting at a con, Nate Takes is going to, please book him. And after my favorite picture from the shoot, I stood up from my foam belt and it ripped entirely.
No.
Now, my boyfriend, who pulled out the super glue and had to glue the foam belt to my shirt to hopefully hold up to prejudging and the contest later that day. Thankfully, it did. We walked away with best armor, but holy cow, was that morning nothing but stress. Lol.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
I know I sent the belt breaking photo in finished Friday, but I'll send it here as well. It's such a dope photo, you guys. Go check out Beck's photo. March 24th. We are so behind. I'm so sorry, Beck.
We're working on it.
Thank you for sharing that, and I'm glad things worked out, and congratulations. Holy crap. If you at home listening would like to share your stories as well, you can do that at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com or
you can go to the website. You can fill out the form there. We've got a nice fancy form. It's all pretty and shiny at cosplaystitchandseam.com, or
go to the Facebook page, and while you're on the Facebook page, join our fantastic Work in Progress Fridays, Work in Progress Wednesday group, where we have some fantastic people who want to see you shine, want to help you grow, and a fantastic community also on our Discord. You can find the links to both of those on our website. And while you're on the internet looking those links up, if you would like to support the show, there are many different ways to do it. Tell a friend. Leave a review wherever they let you. Those are always super helpful. We have a coffee, KOFI, Cosplay Stitch, and we have our Patreon, patreon.com/Cosplay Stitch. And some of the amazing people we need to thank today are brand new to us, Lydia. Welcome, Lydia.
Woo!
Rose Does, Livy Cheney, Yggdrasil, Dr. Steggy, PB and James, Cynics, at Queer Eye Sci-Fi, Hot Riku, Renamira, Jazzy Kofed, Jaguar Queen, Gloria Shu, Sudi, Shock H, and Silver Deeds.
Oh, yes. Thank you guys so much. You can also check out foxbeauty.store. Use that promo code Stitch and Seam to get 10% off your purchase. Thanks, as always, to Macy Roberts for the use of her music as our theme song, and
Yay!
David Jeffress for his amazing editing. How are your podcasts going, David?
They are going so good. The Last Voice Season 2 is out, and I think I'm going to give you guys one more episode before I start talking spoilers.
Woo!
One more episode before I start talking about the amazing things that are happening in this season, because oh boy, is it so good. I'm so excited. I just finished editing a good batch of episodes, and I cannot be more hyped. I really can't.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes. I'm putting that on as my study sounds.
Nice.
So I can re-listen, get caught up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. I know we talked about ways to, like, beat the heat and... Yeah?
Uh-oh.
What?
It's coming.
You don't want to be...
The pun is on its way.
You'll be immune to the heat if you listen to these tips, at least to a certain degree. Bye, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Stay cool.